Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a basic VRChat avatar. I'm not going to go over anything like toggles or phys bones or anything like that. I'm going to split those into different videos just so this video isn't super long. So I have the corpse scanner model from Tears of the Kingdom all set up with the shaders and everything. What you want to do when you have your model in Unity, you drag it all with the textures. So let me grab, so you have all your folders of your textures and your model imported into the scene. We just drag and drop in here. What you want to do is select and make sure it's legacy, so that way it will create material slots for it. And give an example here. It'll make materials for you. They will be standard. Default, they'll be standard. I put them in Poyomi, but you would have to drag and drop your base colors into the base color. So let me actually just make a material. So you would drag stuff like your base color into the albedo, and then your normal map into the normal map, and then that would be right here. So, and then you can also edit the metallic, the smoothness, not roughness. If you have roughness maps, you go to Autodesk, and that way you can make a roughness map instead of smoothness, because smoothness and roughness are two different things, but sort of work in the same way. Importing shaders, you would just have that Unity file for the shader, you would import it, and you can do stuff, really cool stuff with Poyomi, but I'm not going to show that. So now that you have, just back up. Now that you have all your material set up, we're going to first go into select, rig, and make sure it's humanoid. We're going to go to configure. Now the most important bones you're going to need for your avatar is all the basic ones. So you're going to need shoulder bones, which clavicle is a shoulder bone. The arm bones need to be connected to the clavicle or shoulder, and the shoulders need to be connected to the chest bone. There always has to be a chest. It doesn't have to be named chest, but it should be in the same area and put in the chest. You don't need to have an upper chest bone. I never use upper chest bones. But you need an upper chest bone and a spine bone, which would be the bone right under spine. And they need to be connected. Right up here, you're always going to have a neck and a head bone. And if you go to head, you would always want to delete the bones for the eyes and jaw, and I'll show later. And you need your finger bones. You don't have to have finger bones. So that's an important thing to know. You don't always need to have finger bones. I have some avatars that don't even have any finger bones attached. Some avatars, I think, used to need at least the index, middle, and thumb. But of course you don't need that. You do still need the hand bones, feet bones, whatnot. Yeah, all the basic bones are right here. You can test them in the muscle values, see how it moves. If any chance you're moving your arm and the shoulder happens to move a lot when you move your arm up, you go to left arm, right arm, shoulder, down, up, shoulder, forward, back, and turn those to 0. So it locks this in place. You don't have to put it in 0. You can put it like a smaller value just so it still moves, but not as much. Because a lot of times it will move a lot. Let's say you move this. It could move like this, and that doesn't look very good. But now that you have all of your bones all set up, you're going to scroll down and press done. Now, okay, another thing I forgot to mention, if at any point there's red stuff that says it's not in a T-pose, just scroll down, pose, and then enforce T-pose. And that way it should fix it. Right, so now that we got all of our bones set up in the right spots, let's look at the VRC descriptor. You'll need the VRC SDK. And you would look through here. So this is setting over to PC. And later in the video, I'll show you how to do Android stuff, which is somewhat the same thing. You just need to change a few things. So now you have all this set up. You want to do stuff like lip sync. Like what I will actually do for this test, so I don't break my avatar because this thing's not even done yet. I'll just put in this one. So you guys can follow with me. So you do add component, and it will be avatar descriptor. First things first, we need lip sync. So let's do auto detect, and if it has visemes, it will find them. If it doesn't have visemes, jaw flap, and it will be under either jaw. In this case, it's just chin. Let me go under here. If you have multiple instances of the model or different models in the same one, you're gonna have to go find it in here. So let's see. Face root. Yeah, it's got a lot of bones. So it'll be under chin. And then press preview. So this would be the closed. This would be open. So let's do that. So now, whenever you're in game, this would be closed, and it'll do this when you open it. Eye look. Press enable, and then we're gonna find the eye, so it'll be eyeball left, eyeball right. Some models, you have to press this little chain right here so you can move them individually. The only models I've had issues with is security breach FNAF models, but besides that, I think everything should be fine. Press preview, so this is looking straight. All right, awesome. Looking up, I'm gonna hold control, click this, and then we'll move it up. This way it can snap instead of doing this where you have to kind of, if you want it all equal, then do control. But if you don't really care, then you can just drag it. So we'll do like that for up, this for down, left, and right. So now when you have that, okay, not perfect, but it's all right. Now eyelids. Now either you can do bones, which I will not really show because I have to, let's see. Okay, so eyelid down, eyelid up, eyelid up, eyelid down. So eyelids are a little bit confusing sometimes. So this could be the default, depending on the model. And then we can, yeah. So in this case, it won't really work too well, but you kind of get the idea. In Blender, I just made a blend shape. So it needs to find the mesh that it's under. So it would be my body mesh. And for blink, I have my blink viseme. So now when I blink, it moves the bones. And for a basic avatar, that's all you need to do. Just make sure you have, oh, one last thing. Viewpoint. It's the most important thing ever. I also realized that I think my Ganon, oh, no, never mind. So your viewpoint is another thing that matters. So sometimes you want it directly on the nose, but in this case, we're going to use a tutorial avatar, already pre-set up, line it up with the hands, and then see where the eyeballs are. So the eyeballs are all the way back here. So we'll put it back here. That way, your model doesn't lift up when you look up, or it has any other issues. If your arms are too short, that means your viewpoint's too high up or too far out. we're going over another thing. If at any point your viewpoint, let's say, is right here in the middle of the eyes, but in game it's up here, let's go to configure and then look to see if it's floating, which in my case it's not floating, but you'll want to grab it by just right here, yeah, by this, and move it. So I'm not going to do that, but move it so it's sitting right here, and then all you need to do is done, apply, and that should fix the issue. And after that, press this button and fix any issues it has. And it could take a few seconds or a minute to go through this. Shouldn't take too long. And looking through this is all your stats. So like, I never have any issues with these, and I never know how to fix them. This one is just telling you it's taller than it usually should be, which as long as you're not making it completely massive, you should be good. I also have this height chart, which he is just about like, I think 11 feet, which is fine. As long as he's not like, let's just give an example. As long as he's not like this big, where people are just gonna block you, you should be good. So keep it a reasonable size. If it's a really big character, size it down a bit, just so it's not massive. I think my biggest character I have is about 18 feet, and I kept it 18 feet, and it's not massive enough where it's gonna annoy people, but I'd say maybe keep it under 20 feet, 25 the minimum, or the maximum. But now we have all this stuff. You would just press publish and build and publish for Windows. This screen, let's go over to scene real quick and find the VRC cam, which will show your screen, your thumbnail, the avatar. The jaw just, for some reason, killed itself. That is sometimes due to the simulator I have, which that shouldn't be a problem. It won't affect anything. So we'll click these values right here, or you can just go into field of view. So let's say that's a cool, like, oh, this is a cool thumbnail, right? So name it like Ganon test, whatever you want. And then you have all these options. You can add a description. I never add descriptions. I don't ever see a point to them. Content warnings. I think this is mainly for uploads just for VRChat to see. In case maybe it can auto block for certain accounts. And then sharing, which is private and public, whichever one you want. And then cross-platform, which is used for fallback, which it needs to be a certain poly count, which I have not ever made a fallback, which I actually would like to make a fallback avatar. But now that we're done with that, you press this button and press upload. Now I'm not gonna do that because I don't need to upload it to my account. Now, for publishing to Quest, I'm gonna do really brief. It takes a long time to switch to Android, but when you press Android, it will switch over, and it's gonna want you to change all textures to a texture format called standard light, which you will go to by clicking on the shader, VRChat, mobile, and then standard light. Which didn't seem to really do much because it's just the eyeball. There it is, yeah, I see it. And then when you have everything that's hooked on that avatar changed to standard light, and you can change the values, of course. So I'll show that. So here, you can change stuff. You can only change very few things. You can only have a metallic / smoothness map. So you do this, and then change the mission color, which, you know, that doesn't really matter too much. I don't really touch that. And then specular highlights, Sometimes I can do things. And then when you have all that, it should be ready to upload. And the uploading will be the exact same as PC. Again, switching target to Android does take a very long time. If you run into errors, like it says, cannot upload to PC, or cannot upload to Android, it's too big, the last thing you'll want to do is go to my textures. Let's say the normal map. Normal map is not even that big. See, these textures are very optimized for Switch, but you'd want to change either the max size or crunch compress, which I've been crunch compressing a lot, but sometimes I run into issues where it completely breaks the texture forever. So I'd say just lower the resolution down, and that will make it a lot smaller. So we have 2K, apply, not really much, 1K, apply. So these textures are 1K textures. So if you don't see a change, then you can keep going down. But stuff like this, if it's in the kilobytes, you do not need to edit it. If it's in the megabytes, however, you definitely should. Although I don't know why this is like this. I think I need read and write enabled. Nope. Ooh, don't have that. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's like that, but stuff like this, yeah, you can lower it down and it should be good to go. So thank you so much for watching the long-awaited Unity tutorial. Any questions, put it in the comments below. I'll put my Discord ID in the description so that if you have any questions, you can directly message me and I can try to help you out through the process. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and happy creating your very first VRChat avatar. My next video, I hopefully will be able to go through making stuff like phys bones, toggles, phys bone colliders. I think my next one should be just toggles. So I'll teach you how to make stuff like this. So like, you know, toggling off parts, doing texture toggles, and then like stuff like phys bones to make really nice cloth and hair. Just a general setup, not exactly how I'm doing it, because again, I have no clue what I'm doing still, and I've been making avatars for maybe like 3 years. So, still don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.